Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark.
If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to another episode of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. For those of you familiar with 5th edition, keep in mind that all of our players are playing a custom class called the ClockTower Agent. We also play with a lot of house rules in our games that we as a group collectively enjoy. We explain these rules as they come up, so if you're just joining us, you may need to listen back to previous episodes just to clear up any confusion. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and welcome to the ClockTower. As you all step through the mirror, you find yourself on what can only be described as a blasted wasteland of what used to be a planet. There are hills, maybe ruins around you. Whatever there is here is coated in a thick layer of gray ash. There is almost no color around here until you realize that everything has a sort of white, yellowish hue. And when you look around, the one thing that is begging the attention of everyone is the sun in the sky that is burning bright, and it feels like way too close over this world as it flares up and you see tendrils of fiery energy looping back into it as it roils and turns in on itself, until you realize that above you, way further in space, and the other thing that is very clear to you all is that there doesn't appear to be a sky. Beyond you is just space, the cosmos, like it was the night, and you can see suns and stars and things in the distance. And that's not the sun. You see in front of you a giant burning ball of divine fire that you have all come to know much too familiarly as Ulhm. As you can almost hear now the echoing angelic-like voices that come from it that are either singing a beautiful orchestrated melody or screaming in a horrible cacophony, depending on how you remember Ulhm. And as you look at it, you can see silhouetted in the light of Ulhm, standing maybe 40 feet in front of all of you, is Kball. His ratty cloak, he kind of pulls and lets it fall as it blows away in the sort of like gusts of wind that occasionally blow away from Ulhm. And you see him standing there in basically a rundown ClockTower uniform, like any of you. He looks like he could go on a mission with all of you tomorrow and not stand out of place at all, if it weren't for the fact that all of you know the weathered look on his face of someone who's just been basically emotionally broken. And as he looks up, you can all kind of hear the noise that is Ulhm. He says over his shoulder, "I guess there's no more running. I guess this is finally it." And he turns to face all of you as Ulhm lights him from behind.
"This is where you stand?"
"I've been watching you, most of you, for a very long time. And I think, in a way, I hate all of you so much." And kind of like he pauses for a moment looking at Trinket as if Trinket doesn't really fall into this description. And then he actually turns and looks at you, Trinket, and says, "This is where you stand?"
I'm not so sure.
All of you believe in the ClockTower. You still follow its wishes, its missions, aimlessly, blindly, like Brian did.
Rox is kind of puzzled because in Rock's mind, the answer to that is no, because they just want to stop Ulhm. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're now confused because the way it's looking is like that he's like working with Ulhm, and he's
It does look that way.
It does look.
I will say, he is standing with Ulhm behind his back like a homie.
Rock, after finally a confused look, will be like, okay, I know you hate us. Fine. Are you working for Ulhm? That's just the thing that we want to, like, get rid of. I could give a fuck about the ClockTower and its missions. That thing is just bad. Am I wrong? Why is this all so, like, side-y? That thing eats. Can you explain something to me? Please. I'm so lost.
You've met the rest of my team, right? You talked to Brian. You spoke to Fife. You even met Alex's pathetic little bird friend. You killed Devon.
My bad. I apologize.
Mercilessly.
Yeah, that was my bad. We were new, although it doesn't excuse it.
Everyone I ever cared about left me. I did whatever the ClockTower asked for years, because at least I had my family, and I would do anything for honor and for my family. And they left me, all of them, except for her. Alaya was the only one who stuck by me, who continued on with the ClockTower's missions with me, no matter what happened. After Fife left, we had Brian leading us, and when Brian left, at least there was the two of us. At least there was that. And when finally we found something that she thought could give her that sense of purpose, that sense of having a fucking family again, she threw herself into it. She's still in there. And the ClockTower wants me to destroy that. And if I kill Ulhm, I'm killing Alaya. So I don't. I figured out another way. If I feed it, it lives. And if it doesn't keep eating, she'll die. So I did what I thought was the only thing I could do to keep my family alive at all. I brought the light of Ulm to any world I could.
You selfish son of a bitch.
That's some remark coming from you.
It is. But at least when I did something, I fucking made sure that I was trying to do better. But you? No. You fed people.
And
Real
how is that
people.
any different from all of you feeding Lily to that snake in Duran?
I'm fucking trying to repent. You are letting it still happen. Really?
I just admit what I am.
A coward.
No. Selfish. And he pulls his sword out.
Jaeger looks at the rest of them, puts out a hand, and puts it on his gun, and slipped it off his back and just says, I shouldn't enjoy this, but I think I will. And walks forward.
Castile, you stood by your family, and now you're standing with the last family you think you have, even though she's gone. But now we have to stand with ours, and for all the pain you've put us through. And Sam steps to the side of Jaeger.
And then Rock would look at Castell with very heavy eyes and say, I do not hate you nor blame you for what you have done for someone you love, because I can't tell you with a straight face I wouldn't do the same to get Reagan back. However, I am many things. I am an asshole, and I am an idiot. But I am loyal, and I am loyal to my family, and I will also stand by Sam and Jaeger.
Trinket steps forward, arming herself with her axe, and looks to him, looks him in the eyes, and says, I'm sorry, but I can't lose my family again either.
Roll initiative.
I got a 3 and then a nat 20.
Castell also got a nat 20. What's your dex?
+1. He is higher, I believe.
+2.
Yeah.
Okay, so who got below a nat 20?
17.
6.
13.
So Castell goes first, and I was trying to think of like how you all went into this on who the fuck he's attacking first, but it's Jaeger. It's so Jaeger. There's no question in me that it's not Jaeger. So Castell's gonna use his move, throw sword,
Oh shit, he's pulling off Rock's move.
which I'll read. Castell hurls his sword at a target, so I'll do that now. He got 11 plus his
It
attack.
hits.
If he hits, he immediately deals damage to the target, which I believe his ClockTower damage is a lot. 1d10 plus 3 plus, so it's plus 8 for him. So you take 12 damage.
Okay. I'm going to use Uncanny Dodge.
He deals damage immediately, then dashes to the target and regains his sword and pushes the target 15 feet back if they do not meet a DC 14 strength save.
Meets it.
So he just does he kicks the sword out of you, kind of literally sort of the visceral attack.
Would you call
Grabs
that?
it and kicks it out.
Would you call the Because the sword being there, because I have Sentinel that I can make a reaction melee attack when they attack somebody next to me.
You can definitely do that.
Bet.
He just attacked somebody next to you and then dashed to them. He's now right next to you as well.
Fuck. No, it's not gonna hit. I was this close away from the 20.
Yeah.
Sick. That means it's now Sam's turn.
In that case, I was on the side. Would you say that I'm in range? Because I know I've fought Kball before, and I believe they have a 10-foot range, right?
Kball does have a 10-foot range.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would technically count as being in their attack range.
Yes.
Because I'm next to you.
Yes.
Jaeger. Cool. Sam is going to quickly pull out their pipe, almost like sort of quick draw, and throws it up into the air to catch them with a kind of ethereal tether and lift them in the air, casting Levitate on them. Please make a con check, or a con save, I should say. DC 13.
What's your con bonus, Kball? Because you might make that. He got 13.
So, meets beats. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Jaeger's turn.
Jaeger's going to, essentially, when he sticks the sword and then kicks him off, Jaeger's going to go with the kick and step back 5 feet, and then flip his gun up in like a one-handed shot and just lay 2 shots into him.
Okay.
It's not great. And second shot, not great. It's going to be a fucking 14.
In that case, it's Trinket's turn.
All right, I'm gonna move up to him and I'm gonna hit him with my axe.
Okay.
23.
To hit?
Yeah.
Jesus.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Roll that damage.
6.
6 damage. Rock, your turn.
He's like right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna run it through. I just want to note, Rock does not want to do this. Rock has the face of there is no other choice. They take no pleasure in this. First attack is going to be a 24.
Jeez.
And then I'll just roll the second one while we're here.
Okay.
That'll be a 19.
All right. Both of those hit.
That
19 and 21, yeah.
first attack.
You also have advantage.
Oh, fish for the crit, I guess.
Trinket's giving you
I
advantage.
can do 2 rolls now for the fish for the crit.
Let's go!
And you got it. Well done.
All right, so the first attack is a critical,
Yep.
and the second also hits. So I rolled twice for the first attack. So that's a 16 for the first attack.
In total.
And then the second attack is a 11.
So 27 total.
27 total.
He is going to uncanny dodge your crit.
Okay.
So he's going to cut that 16 to 8, making it 19 total, and that's going to be in total 25 damage to him.
I'm not mad at that at all.
So basically, Kball throws his sword and it slams into Jaeger. He kicks Jaeger back. Jaeger like staggers back a couple of steps while beams of light try to lift him up, and he basically like swings his sword over his head and shatters that shit like glass as Sam like is a little dazed as like the magical backlash kind of makes you like, oh my god. And then Jaeger tries to shoot him point blank and he blocks both of the shots with his sword, just like tink tink. And as that happens, Trinket smashes him in the back and he staggers into Rock, and Rock just has this look on his face like he doesn't want to do this, and then they just catch him in the chest with the sword and like slash him back. And as Kball is like already dripping blood, like ugh, you guys hear the light behind him Ulhm start to just grow in that same sort of orchestral cacophony, and Ulhm uses multi-attack. Ulhm can cast Fireball, Scorching Ray at the same time. So Ulm is going to put Fireball behind Jaeger so it hits Rock, Sam, and Jaeger, but not Kball, so Trinket doesn't get hit by that. Rock is taking 1 Scorching Ray, and Trinket is taking 2. 14 to AC. For the first Scorching Ray, we'll do Rock.
That is meat, so meat beats.
Well, you can contest.
Oh,
Also, you can block.
This is a ranged attack. You can.
So I've never been able to use this before. So my deflect missile is a D10 plus my dex plus my level. So what sucks is that it's a -1 off the bat. So it's
And you have to beat the damage of Scorching Ray, right? What's the damage of Scorching Ray?
2d6.
You might be able to do this pretty easily. 7 damage.
Okay. Well, I got a 2, so 9.
So yeah, you reduce the damage to 0. You get to throw it back as a ClockTower weapon. Yeah. So you can make a ranged spell attack against Ulm right now.
Well, you know what? Fuck it. I never.
You don't really get to do it's not like you can throw it at Kball, so you kind of just like knock the beam back. But I'm not gonna make you roll all the dice because Ulm is immune to fire.
You make this attack with proficiency regardless of your weapon proficiencies, and the missile counts as a ClockTower weapon for the attack.
This is helpful.
Oh well, it counts as a ClockTower weapon, so Ulm isn't immune to ClockTower weapon.
So this does deal damage.
It does deal damage to Ulhm, actually.
So does he get thrown back 7 damage, or do I?
You caught the energy
Imbued
on
it
your
in my
sword,
forward, yeah.
and it like your sword's vibrating with all that energy, and the energy turns from like that Ulhm yellowish white, and all of a sudden it just turns into the like the energy that looks like Sam is casting it, or like ClockTower magic, and then you just yeet that shit back. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me roll to see if I hit it or not. It's gonna be a 23.
Damn, that hits.
That is going to be a 11 damage.
In that case, I have 2 more rays against Trinket. That is 20 to hit and 26 to hit.
We all hit.
Okay, so 2d6 per ray. First one's 4, second one's 6. So 10 damage to Trinket.
You can cut one of those in half if you want.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're gonna cut 6.
Yeah.
7 fire damage total. Jaeger, Sam, and Rock, all of you make a dex save.
What's the DC on that?
DC 15.
Oh, meets.
Meets.
16. Yeah.
Yeah, 16.
I got a 1. Sick. I told you it was coming.
I'm doubling the damage on you.
Yeah. If that ain't a rockism, I don't know what is.
So, 8d6. So, you know, actually, before I double your damage, you want to roll and see how bad that one is?
Of course,
So I'm
I
not
always
just
want
actually
to.
punishing you for no reason?
16.
Okay, it's just a miss. So you still have evasion. Nice.
Got this in net.
Oh, nice.
Good thing you have that advantage.
24 damage. Halved. All right. And let me finish reading the rest of his attack to you now. And attempts to eat the memories of anyone who takes damage from any of these attacks.
It's just
so
me.
that's Trinket and Rock.
Correct. So I'll now read Eat Memories to you real fast. The target must make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, or take 18 psychic damage, and become memory drained until it finishes a short or long rest, or it benefits from a greater restoration spell or a heal spell. And it says constructs and plants and undead succeed on the save automatically. None of you guys are not any of those things. Yeah.
You just said a heal spell.
Yes. Yeah, you can remove the memory drain effect.
I have healing.
Which is good, because while memory drained, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from any ability checks or attack rolls it makes. Each time the target is memory drained beyond the first, the die size increases by 1. The d4 becoming a d6, the d6 becoming a d8, so on until the die becomes a d20, at which point the target becomes unconscious for 1 hour. The effect then ends. Oh, and Ulhm gains all of your languages you know and your proficiencies, except for any saving throws.
I beat it. I got a 15.
You save.
I rolled 2.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna take that one.
You take
sixes.
18 psychic damage.
Okay.
Just keep a d4 handy because you have to subtract that from every ability check or attack roll you make. So Ulm's light irradiates out into the sky, and then in an explosive force, an arc of that fire that is always sort of curling around it stretches out and strikes behind Jaeger, and the eruption is this massive fireball that Sam and Jaeger both kind of see coming and duck out of the way of, and just kind of like completely roll and manage to get back to where they were, as Rock sees something else. As coming at Trinket and Rock at the same time, rays of light just beam forward and hit Trinket and Rock, but Rock sees it coming fast enough and catches the ray on their sword as the light of Ulm slowly changes color to match more of the ClockTower magic that Sam uses, and then Rock hurls it back at Ulm, and you see the where it connects, the light of Ulm sort of like festers and crackles, turning into that same ash that the alligator turn into for just a second before it immediately resumes its full form. And then Rock is struck from behind, and Trinket is hit by the ray. However, as Rock feels that light burning away who Rock is, Rock immediately remembers the pain of Ulm from the Gray City and shrugs off any of the lingering effects of Ulm as if it was an old trick that Ulm had tried to use again. But Trinket, it was all new to you. And you just feel the light hit you, and the burn from the light wasn't that bad. You've taken some hits as a ClockTower agent before, but this one, it started burning away who you are. It started trying to like assume you into itself, and as you see where it hits you, you can actually see part of your ClockTower outfit, and like some of the skin underneath is like flaking away into golden sunlight resembling embers. That's just like a lingering effect on you. as you're sitting there, it feels like some of your past missions and some of like what's going on right now is like a little bit hazy. Not a lot, just like a slight headache and like a brain fog, but definitely not nothing, and definitely not something you want to get hit by again. Free action at the top of this round, because Kball, it's now his turn, sees the light of Ulhm kind of explode out and looks back at it and says, "It doesn't have to be like this. You could have all just found a nice world to settle down on. You could have stopped working for the ClockTower at any moment."
Rock would reply back, "Why does it matter? You would have just had Ulhm eat that world for your own selfish needs."
What, just like your family?
All right, it's Kball's turn. Kball is going to use Faster Than the Eye. Kball spends his action and to move past a target within range. The target must make a DC 16 Dex save or suffer a critical hit.
If he moves at all, I'm going to use my reaction opportunity attack him. Sentinel.
You can opportunity attack him. He is attacking you.
That's fine.
So you're literally samurai showdown dueling right now.
His speed becomes 0 for a turn.
If you hit him, he doesn't dash anywhere, so he doesn't finish his attack. I'm 100% ruling that if you succeed on this sentinel and he's locked down, you don't suffer a hit at all.
You see, here's the rock curse. Anything cool that happens, they have to fail. That is an unnatural 20 by itself.
ClockTower dice.
ClockTower dice. Add 5 viewers. 25.
Reduce it by 5.
ClockTower dice. 26.
Okay.
I have 3 of them. Fuck it.
What I'm gonna say happens, and you'll do normal attack damage for this, but and you can say something different if you prefer. But immediately, what I think of is Kball puts his hand on his sword and starts to step past you to like slice you with his sword faster than the eye can see, and Rock grabs the pommel of Kball's sword, slams it back into the sheath, and punches Kball.
Can I change that one detail?
Yeah.
Clothesline.
With your sword arm, just like pommel in, and you clothesline Kball, just like and it just staggers back to immediately where he went, just like back.
His speed is now 0 for the rest of the turn.
Rock just that man up. I'm not gonna.
And now I get to deal damage to him as well, since it's a
All
reaction
right.
attack. I got a 2. However, since my blade type A, I can re-roll that
Okay.
and get a 4. That's gonna be 9 damage.
9 damage. All right. He's getting messed up.
Sam is going to swirl their pipe up in the air, catching these shattered remnants of the spell and almost recycling the energy into a blast towards Ulhm. So first attack is a nat 20.
20. Let's go.
Second
Let's go.
Second attack is a 16.
Okay. This is a ranged spell attack, right? First one is what?
A nat 20.
Well, it's taken that one. For the 16, it will contest. So as you are firing like the magic that comes out of
Recycled from the air.
Sam's pipe, yeah, it's gonna hit that beam with its own and just like and hit you with a scorching ray hit.
Okay. If it wins.
Yeah, if it wins.
If Sam wins, it's a critical.
Yep, correct.
3.
14.
Yeah.
So you do your critical, and then it hits you with a 2d6 of damage.
So that is 2d8 plus 6 for 15 magical damage.
Nice. Almost specifically not immune to any of the shit you can throw at him with the fucking ClockTower weapons for some
Wow.
reason.
Yeah, weird.
And then I take 2d6 damage for fire damage, right?
Yes. And then you have to make a save. 6 damage. And you need to make I believe it was DC 15?
DC 15 wisdom.
DC 15 wisdom.
But I can ClockTower it.
Yep.
That's a 6.
Unfortunate. You take, what was it, 18 damage?
It's 18 psychic damage.
18
So
psychic damage,
24
and you have a d4 away from your attacks and
ability checks.
Luckily not saves.
So Sam, taking this damage and reeling from these glowing embers, looks at Trinket and tries to meet their eyes and goes, I believe in you. You can do this. And he's cast Healing Word on you.
Trinket's memory loss is gone.
So I don't have to deal with that whole thing.
No.
We traded Banes.
Yeah, Sam got hit by it, but you got. I will say, I am like curious as the DM. How does Sam hear Ulhm now being struck by that light?
I think it's kind of a mix of both. And I think it's the cacophony of calling to them.
You know what? I'm gonna play off of that, and you do hear a voice, and it says, and you think it's Reagan's voice at first, as it says, "Stop, just stop fighting."
And Sam clutches their head and goes, I can't.
And with that,
That's Sam's turn.
Yeah, it's Jaeger's turn.
Oh, yeah. First shot's going to go toward Kball.
Okay,
It's going to be a 17 to hit. That's probably a miss.
that hits.
That's going to be, actually, yeah. That's going to be 10 points damage.
Okay.
And then, like, as Jaeger fires a shot at Kball, he sees the shot fire and hit Sam. His eyes go from Kball and trace up to the light. He drops down to a crouch, and he's going to fire a fucking sharpshooter shot. And I'm going to fucking use a clock tower dice on that. That's going to be 16 to hit.
16 to hit hits. Oh, sorry, does contest. I was looking at Kball, not Ulhm.
There you go.
I forgot. So contest. Ulm's going to do the same thing that it just, as if it's just a reactionary measure that it does. That it did to Sam. It's just going to do to you.
Stop.
Like, it's going to ray through your bullet, erasing your bullet, and hit you.
16.
No fucking way!
Oh my god.
Holy shit! This has never happened in the history of ClockTower.
Hey, don't fail. You're gonna get erased from time.
If you win, because it would already suffer a critical hit if you won initially, I'm not going to get into nitty gritty of double critical, but I'm going to give you a +10 to damage if you hit it with this.
It's funny because I already have a +10 to damage.
If it hits, it's hitting you with critical scorching ray damage. 16.
12.
Fuck!
So close!
So close.
God damn it, Todd. I like to think in that moment Jaeger like thought he got the shot off,
So-
and then Ulm just.
How I'm going to describe this is Jaeger fires the shot at Ulm, and Ulm's like ray of light catches the bullet, and Jaeger's bullet like fights the ray back, and the magic is like slowly turning into clock tower magic as it goes forward, and it strikes Ulm, and Jaeger like for a second is like, yeah, and as he opens his mouth, it like bursts forward with like a retaliatory strike that just slams into Jaeger. 18 damage, and you
Yeah.
have to roll a wisdom save.
That's fine. I'm going to use Uncanny Dodge on that
Okay.
for 9. So, and then I have to make a what was the save?
15 DC.
15.
No, 18 damage.
Another 18 damage,
Yep.
psychic damage,
Yep.
and you have a D4 against your attacks and ability checks.
Rock is the only one who's shaking this off. Rock is the only one who's shaking this off.
It kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
though. All right, so that was Jaeger's turn. It's now Trinket's turn. Trinket, people get fucked up by this orb.
Well, I'm gonna keep hitting this guy because I'm a little worried about meleeing this orb, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Think I'll deal with this first.
It's just in the sky. We can deal with it.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna hit Kball.
Okay,
24.
that hits.
All I can do is
Jesus,
hit. All I
Trinket.
can do.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like even if you guys just attack Ulm, Trinket can keep targeting Kball and just do damage.
17.
17. All right, it's now Rock's turn.
For my first attack, let's see, where, just for flavor, where is he in, like, because I bonked him, I clothesline, so he's in front of me right now still?
Yeah.
Awesome. Then I will just go for, like, a slash right across, another slash right across the chest
Okay.
for my first attack, and he's still flanked, so we have advantage.
Correct.
That is going to be a 21 to hit for the first attack.
Okay.
For flavor for the second, is either his pocket watch or the lantern on his person?
Yes, both of them are on his person. But if you want to try and grab them, or do anything to those, this is like a completely separate action.
Yeah, that's what I
It
thought.
requires much more mechanical doings.
That's what I thought. Can I try to grapple him?
Can you
Yeah.
initiate a grapple with an
Part of it,
attack?
You may replace one of your melee attacks with a grapple or a shove.
With multi-attack?
Yeah, you can replace one of your melee attacks with a grapple or a shove.
And I do have an extra attack, which would constitute as a multi-attack.
All right, you can replace one of your attacks with a grapple or a shove.
So for my second attack, I'm gonna try to like spin around him and like use my sword to grapple him from the backside.
That's a strength contest. He can use athletics or acrobatics. I think he's going to use acrobatics. He got a 6.
I'm gonna clock tower dice that.
Or use your clock tower dice this round.
I'll do it. 5. And that's with I'm gonna use my athletics as well. That is going to be a 13.
That's a save, right? No, it's not. It's a contest.
Contestant.
Damn.
He is now grappled.
He's grappled.
And then as a free action, Rock will look at either Jaeger, Sam, or Trinket and say, "Grab the lantern."
All right.
That's my turn.
It's now Ulm's turn. I'm going to do the same thing. Fireball, same place. Scorching Ray, 2 to Trinket, 1 to Rock. Actually, 2 to Rock, 1 to Trinket.
Question. So even within the 5 feet, I'm now right up against.
Yeah, it's very precise.
You got 3/4 cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you 3/4 cover. Yeah, that's like your AC plus 5, right? In that case, I don't think Ulm would shoot you twice.
So is he gonna try to hit me?
Yeah, Ulm's gonna try and hit you once.
All right. So that is
we're
an. I have a
just gonna
19
do that
AC.
one first. I don't think that's gonna hit. It's 6 plus 7. Yeah, no, misses you. First it's Trinket, twice. Natural 1. How bad is it? 15. Okay.
You miss.
17, second hit, plus 7, so 24.
That's gonna hit.
Hits.
All right, that's 2 damage to Trinket, which is 9. 9 damage. So now you need to make the DC 15 whiz save. This light sucks. Let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 10, 4, and then my bonus is.
So that's 15 meets beats.
Bet. Cool. Are you gonna cut your cut the 9 damage then?
Yeah.
In that case, the fireball to Sam, Rock, and Jaeger.
Nat 20.
Nice.
I'm just curious because I have Castell right up against me. Is the fireball still going to hit me even though
Yeah,
he's
it's hitting
with
you
me?
from behind.
Okay. Then it does hit, but I will then use my evasion to cut that. Whatever it is.
I got a 4. I thought it was cocked, but by putting a dice on it, I made it flat,
Oh.
which is unfortunate. So that is a
Oh.
4.
It says 10, 23.
23 damage?
23.
Halved is
12.
No, Tasha
sorry,
says
it's
you always
12.
round down.
Oh, sorry, then 11. Sorry.
11, yes.
Yeah.
11, then I can half that again to 5.
Both of you wisdom saves, 15.
I
Nope.
succeeded.
I'll take that 18.
Okay. Everybody's memory lost now, except for Trinket. So Castell, after a half-assed attempt to try and tell you all to stop fighting, to just give up, Castell's words were thrown back in his face with a spiteful wit, and he tried to step past Rock to do a slicing through motion, and Rock caught his pommel and then smashed him with his forearm, basically clotheslining him but not knocking him completely over, just staggering him back to where he was previously. And as he did that, Sam looked at Castell and then looked up at the light and fired 2 shots at Ulhm, the first of which did a ton of damage to Ulhm, but the second one, Ulhm returned with its own blast that blasted through Sam's attack and struck into Sam, causing Sam to be afflicted by the same sort of golden flaking wound that is slowly ebbing away, who Sam is, that Trinket was previously afflicted by. And then Sam looked at Trinket and casted Healing Word on Trinket. So Trinket was no longer afflicted by the remnants of Ulhm. And then Jaeger fired a shot into Castell and then fired a shot at Ulhm. But as it struck into Ulhm, Ulhm fired a blast to try and meet the bullet. The bullet powered its way all the way to Ulhm before it could actually hit Ulhm. Ulhm strengthened the blast and blasted it back into Jaeger, hitting Jaeger for a ton of damage. And Jaeger, failing to resist the power of Ulm, was also afflicted by the power of Ulm. And then Trinket, not really having a way to strike Ulm and having Castell already marked for death, continued to lay into Castell with her axe, doing absurd amounts of damage to Castell as Castell is just getting whittled down, beaten and bloodied. He deflected as much of the strikes as he could, but he's fighting 4 people in a completely surrounded right now. And then Ulm returned fire, striking Trinket with a ray, but Trinket this time knew what Ulm's damage felt like and resisted the power of it. And Rock slammed into Castell with a strike, and then used their sword itself to grab Castell and pull him close, and actually turned as the rays were getting ready to fire down. And instead of shooting Rock twice, Ulm shot Trinket twice, and Rock once. The strike missed because Rock had insane cover from using Castell's cover, and the ray barely missed hitting Castell as well. However, the massive fireball of an explosion that arced out from behind Jaeger again did hit Rock from behind, and Jaeger artfully dodged the light of Ulm again, but Sam was struck by it, resisting the memory loss getting any worse, but Rock didn't this time, and started being afflicted as burns on Rock's back start flaking into that golden light. And now it's top of the round again. Castell's grappled, and he's gonna be struggling as he sees you guys attacking Ulm, and he's gonna go, "No, you're killing her!" As he's gonna try and just pull away from Rock.
So with a grapple, what does he need to roll to get away from it?
He needs to beat you in a strength contest again.
I got a 1.
One is worse than a 2. So how
Right.
bad is the 1?
Yeah,
if
that's the dilemma.
Not a critical fail.
That is a 9. That's a critical fail.
So Castell.
Oh, I didn't even roll the memory loss. That would have also just been bad.
So you're holding Castell, and Castell's screaming, "Stop! You're killing her!" As blows you in the jaw, and you stagger. As I'm gonna say you move 5 feet back,
That's perfectly
directly
fine.
away from Castell, and you take D4 damage.
I could say that I could use my reaction to top the red since he's been pushed away from me. I can use that to go back to grapple him again.
Bonk. You
have to
did
will
technically take 3 damage though, so I would allow it if you want to try, but it's your reaction, so keep track of that.
Do I go for it?
Yeah, I was like, because he just used his action to fucking try to get at your hold, so you might as well.
And this is an attack roll. However, he has pushed me away, so it's no longer advantage. That is going to be a 17.
That hits.
Bet. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Castell.
You go nowhere.
You go nowhere. That is going to be a 9
Okay.
damage.
So I'm gonna say what happens is he hits you in the elbow, or he uses his elbow to hit you in the jaw. You stagger back, but as you're doing, you kind of like swing your sword and you hit him with the flat of your massive sword in the head, and he goes boom, and kind of is just like he's not moving this turn because he's kind of like, whoa, oh my god. And that means it's Sam's turn.
Grab the lantern is still on the table.
And I am within 5 feet of him.
What is the action for that?
You have to meet a DC to steal it.
So
Sleight of hand.
I took the feat. I was adept from all, the Ulhm shit. And I took the Warlock Invocation that allows me to cast Silent Image at will.
Okay.
That'll still be an at will spell. So I will cast Silent Image, reaching forwards in one direction, and then move in the opposite direction to grab the lantern.
I will give you advantage. 100%.
It's like
The DC is a 15 sleight of hand check.
I have one ClockTower dice I can use for you. I'm in your range.
First roll is a 16. Second roll is a 1. Good thing I have advantage. 16 will be 17 sleight of hand.
That gets it. You grab at the leather strap and just pull the sort of clip that it's on off of his belt and wrench the lantern away from him. As I don't even know that he notices because he kind of dodges away from the illusion after just getting domed, and then feels it come off as he goes, "Ugh," and looks and sees you right there with the actual lantern, and it's just he's so beside himself. He's imagine if someone's killing your friend and you're trying to fight all of them, but you're just getting absolutely wrecked. He is beyond the description of desperate right now.
With the remainder of my movement, using... If one illusion dies one way and same with the other way, I'm just going to, with my movement, rotate around Castell.
Okay.
In the move to, toss it to rock or toss it somewhere.
Okay.
And kind of just shelter the lantern.
As you grab the lantern, it glows, and the effect of Ulhm is removed from you.
Damn.
Pass that shit.
It absorbs it.
And as Sam passes by Castell, I'm sorry. Doesn't have to be this way.
It's now Jaeger's turn.
Jaeger's gonna fire a shot into Castell first. Misses. And then fires a shot toward Ulhm. Misses. Can't have anything right.
So basically,
And that memory loss.
Alright, that number else is fucking me.
so you shoot, because it's not like Jaeger's a bad shot, right? You shoot right at Castell, would have hit him in the head. Castell pulls his sword up and blocks the shot as it bing hits the sword. Even dazed, Castell's ugh! And then you fire at Ulhm and you just see the bullet disappear into the fiery light that is Ulhm, and you're fuck.
But I will say, after I fire the two shots, Jaeger's gonna pull his gun down and say, "You should have stayed with Fife."
All right. Well, 21 to hit.
Jesus Christ. That hits. I don't think you've rolled below 20 to hit this
I
whole
have
game.
a +7 to hit. All right, so it's 11 damage.
11 damage? Okay. Ow. So, Trinket smacks Castell again. It's now Rock's turn.
I'm gonna walk forward, so I'm in the range, so I can get advantage on whatever I do. I have an attack and an extra attack, but the attack itself is an action. So if I take the attack action, I can't take another action and substitute it as my extra attack. It has to be an action and an action, right?
You can
'Cause-
substitute one of your extra attacks
Bet.
as a shove or a grapple.
Okay, but not is one of those a grab?
A grapple. Grapple.
Okay,
grapple.
but I'm asking because if I want to attack him, but then try to grab the lantern from Sam,
That's a full action.
that's a full action.
different
That's what
action.
I thought. That's what I
Correct.
thought.
Passing items is an action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he look fucked?
Yes. He's he's bloodied, but he's not on death's door yet.
All right, I'm gonna make it so, or at least attempt to. So first attack with advantage. Ooh, glad I have advantage.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Missed the first attack. However, that was better than the alternative.
Yeah.
That is going to be a unnatural 20 to hit him,
Okay.
and that is going to be 11 damage.
He's gonna cut that in half.
So that's going to be a 5.
Yeah. It's now Ulm's turn. Ulm's gonna shoot Sam with 3 rays. And fireball, so it hits Jaeger. No, it's not gonna hit. It's not gonna hit Castell. So the fireball gonna hit all 3 of you. I think I can place it so it hits all 3 of you and not Castell, right?
Yes, you can.
On a curve.
Yeah.
So he's doing that. Trinket's completely safe this round. Sam, you were targeted by 3 scorching rays. They all automatically fail
Oh,
because you're holding the lantern.
Oh.
I like to imagine Sam doesn't realize, so they go to shield their face with the lantern, and it just blocks.
Well, it doesn't block.
Oh.
It eats them.
Oh.
It just it goes, and all the rays just like are caught from that were gonna hit you in other places and get sucked into the lantern. Hey, Ellie again. Thank you for listening. As always, I'd like to thank our producer, Who's, at who's.music, and our editor, Cal, for making the episodes what they are. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. Thank you to Cal, Parker, Kball, and Trent for their great performances. And thank you again for listening. We release bi-weekly, so episode 50, part 2, will be out on Friday, July 8th. Until then, time's ticking. See you in the clock tower.